"You're not welcome this Easter," my mom whispered. "Fine, but don't expect my $9,800, I said, turning off the electricity, water, and internet at their house. "Don't come in." Those were the first words my mom said when she opened the door. No hug, no smile, nothing, just those 3 words that knocked the wind out of me. I stood on the porch with a bottle of wine in one hand and a basket of chocolate eggs in the other. I even wore the light blue shirt she liked, the one that made her say it brought out my eyes. She used to say that proudly, now she wouldn't even look at me. "What, you're joking, right?" She glanced behind her and then stepped outside, closing the door almost all the way, like I was a threat. "It's better if you don't come in today," she whispered. I felt like time froze. "I drove 3 hours to be here." "I know," she said quietly, "but things are tense and Olia said she wouldn't come if you were here." "Of course, Olivia," I said. I should have known she was behind it. I heard laughter inside. Someone, probably Uncle James, said, "Cheers to real family being together." Then I heard Olivia's voice, loud and fake sweet. "Honestly, this year feels so peaceful. No negativity, no drama." I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just smiled, the kind of smile that says, "You have no idea what's coming." "You know what?" I said, pulling out my phone. "Fine, enjoy your peaceful Easter, but don't expect my $9,800 anymore." My mom looked confused. "What money?" she asked. I looked her in the eye. "The electricity, the water, the internet, the bills I've been paying for this house. You said you needed them until Dad got back on his feet. Guess what? They're in my name, and I just shut them off." Her face went pale. "What? You didn't tell me. You didn't ask." I showed her my phone. "See this app?" One tap. I pressed a button. Lights out. From inside, I heard Olivia shout, "The Wi-Fi just cut off." "What happened, Mom? Is lunch for the phone?" But I stepped back. "Happy Easter," I said, then turned and walked to my car. No one followed. No one apologized. As I sat in the car, Olivia appeared behind my mom, holding her phone high. "Are you crazy? We were about to eat." I rolled down the window and said, "Call your real family, maybe they'll pay the bills next month." Then I drove away, no guilt, no second thoughts. That was the moment I stopped being their personal utility company and became the ghost they couldn't use anymore. I used to think I was helping, that I was the responsible one, that family meant sacrifice. I told myself a lot of things, like the time my dad called me during a meeting. "Power's getting shut off," he said. "What, again?" I whispered, stepping into the hallway. "Just for a couple days, if you can cover it, I'll send it back by Friday." He never sent it back, and I paid, like always. My family has a long history of taking without asking, and me, I have a long history of letting them. When Dad lost his job 3 years ago, I stepped in to help with the bills. When Mom needed a dental procedure she didn't really need but made her feel insecure, I paid for it. When Olivia couldn't afford her car lease, I co-signed a new one and paid the first 6 months. At first, it felt good. I was the dependable one, the one who had it together, but slowly, that admiration turned into expectation, then entitlement, then resentment. "You're so lucky you don't have kids," Olivia would say at dinner. "All your money is yours. Must be nice." "You mean the money I used to pay your bills?" I'd say. "Oh, please," she scoffed. "Don't act like it's charity, you like feeling superior." Mom would jump in. "She didn't mean it like that." "No, I meant exactly that." Olivia smirked. "You think we should be grateful because you pay a couple bills?" "A couple bills," I said. "Let's talk about a couple bills. Water, $1.83 per month. Electricity, $2.10 per month. Internet, $1.89 per month. Streaming services, random Amazon orders." I stopped counting. I checked my bank account last month and realized I'd sent $9,800 in just the last year. Yet, to them, I was still the bitter, selfish brother who never smiled in family photos. The worst part? I wasn't even surprised anymore. A few weeks ago, I overheard something I wasn't meant to hear. I came by the house to drop off groceries and heard them laughing in the kitchen. "He's so uptight," Olivia said. "You think paying a few bills makes him king of the world?" Mom added, "He's probably just lonely." Dad said, "He works too much. All that money and no one to share it with. At least he's good for something." Olivia said, "I'd cry if I had to pay for my own internet." They all laughed. I stood frozen on the porch, groceries in hand. No one saw me. I left without saying anything. Later that night, I canceled their Netflix and Disney Plus subscriptions. Olivia texted the next day, "Did the Wi-Fi glitch, or did you forget to pay again?" I didn't reply, but the real breaking point came 2 months ago. I logged into my bank account to transfer money and saw some strange charges: a new MacBook, a wellness retreat, designer clothes, all bought with the card I'd given my mom for emergencies. I called her. "Did you buy a MacBook?" "Oh, that was for Olivia. She needed it for work, and a retreat. She was going through a rough time, crying every night. With my money." She got quiet. "You make more than all of us combined," she said softly. "It's not like you can't afford it." I hung up. 4 days, I debated confronting them, but then I remembered something Olivia had said last Thanksgiving. "We all play our roles. Mine is being fabulous. Yours is paying for the turkey." Everyone laughed. I smiled and swallowed my pride, but now I couldn't even look at a turkey without wanting to scream. Easter was the one time a year when we all pretended to care about each other. I bought gifts for the kids, took time off work, and even booked brunch a week in advance. Then I got a text from Mom. "Hey sweetie, can you make sure the utility payments are up to date before the weekend? Olivia is hosting an egg hunt." I didn't reply, but I paid $385 for them, with no thanks, and then Easter came. I showed up with wine and chocolate, and they shut the door in my face. "You're not welcome this Easter," Mom said. Olivia made sure I heard it. "Honestly, it's better without you. Let's keep it light this year," they called from inside. They wanted light. I gave them darkness. No electricity, no water, no internet. I sat in my car and watched as the house slowly went dark. The porch light flickered off. The sprinklers stopped. 5 minutes later, Olivia stormed out, waving her phone. "What did you do?" she screamed. I rolled down the window. "Enjoy Easter," I said, "without me." And I drove off, finally understanding that sometimes healing means cutting the cord. I hadn't even made it home when the call started. First Mom, then Dad, then Olivia over and over. My phone buzzed so much it almost slipped off the seat. I ignored them until I got a message from Dad that made me laugh. "You're being dramatic. Come back and fix this. Fix this." "You mean your water, your internet, your idea of a family? No thanks." 2 hours later, they showed up at my place. I heard the knock but didn't move. Let them feel something for once. Then I heard shouting. "You're seriously going to ignore your own mother on Easter? Open the door right now, or we're calling the police," Olivia screamed. "This is abuse." I opened the door just as Olivia was about to knock again. She stumbled inside. "Get in," I said flatly, "but if any of you raise your voice, I'll call the cops." They rushed in, Mom crying, Dad pacing, Olivia screaming. "You think this is funny? We had guests over. Children, do you know what it's like to explain to a 5-year-old why the bathroom doesn't flush?" "Yeah," I said, sitting down. "You explain to them that your aunt and uncle expect me to cover everything." Boom, silence. Mom gasped. Olivia's eyes went wide. Dad clenched his fists. "How dare you speak to your family like that?" Mom snapped. "Family?" I raised an eyebrow. "The same family who told me not to come because I ruined the vibe? The same family that laughed behind my back about how useful I am? The same family that used my money like a refillable faucet?" Dad stepped forward. "You're overreacting." "No," I said. "I'm done reacting. I'm acting." Olivia crossed her arms. "You think this makes you powerful? Cutting off the utilities just to prove a point?" "No," I replied. "This makes me free." She snorted. "You've always had this martyr complex. You want applause for paying bills." "You mean the $9,800 I spent last year?" I snapped. "The money that paid for your heating, your Zoom therapy, your new iPhone, your fake Paris trip that was actually a spa week in Palm Springs?" Her face went white. "You went through my stuff? You used my card for the plane ticket?" "I get the statements. Genius." Dad tried to change the subject. "Okay, look, we've clearly made some mistakes." "Some?" I cut him off. "Dad, you told me I had no place at the table, that Olivia deserved the help more because she has a future. You said I was angry." "No," he said quietly. "I said you were honest for once." Mom reached out. "Sweetheart, please, we're family. Can we reset? Undo what you did?" "No," I said coldly, "because you didn't just shut me out this Easter, you shut me out years ago. You've been fine taking what you need, but the second I say no, I'm the villain." Olivia was shaking now. "You'll regret this," she said through her teeth. You think cutting us off will make you feel better? You'll be alone. Good, I said. Alone is better than being bled dry by people who smile when I walk in and spit on my name when I leave. Silence filled the room. Then I stood up. Here's what's going to happen, I said calmly. You'll find another way to pay the utilities. You'll transfer the car lease off my name within 30 days. You'll stop using my Netflix, my Spotify, and my Amazon Prime. If you don't, I'll lock it all down permanently. You wouldn't, Dad started. Try me, I said. And Mom, I added, if you ever try to guilt trip me again with our son, just remember, sons deserve love, not invoices. Mom started to cry. Dad looked down. Olivia stormed out, slamming the door hard enough to knock a picture frame crooked. And I didn't care. I didn't follow, explain, or fix anything. For the first time in my life, I didn't try to make it better. I closed the door, locked it behind them, and exhaled. The war was over, and I'd finally won. The silence afterward was unreal. No calls, no texts, no knocks on the door. It was like they decided I didn't exist, and you know what? It felt amazing. For the first time in years, I woke up without that pressure in my chest, the one that whispers, "What will they need from you today?" No more checking my bank app for their latest emergency. No more fake group chats where they ignored me. No more guilt-drenched holidays where I bought gifts for everyone and got socks in return. I was free, and the quiet was beautiful. I started sleeping better, eating better, living better. I bought a second-hand guitar and started teaching myself. I reconnected with old college friends. I signed up for a photography class, just because I'd always wanted to. And for the first time, I felt alive. At last, every dollar I earned went to me, rent, groceries, saving for my future. At first it felt selfish, then fair, and finally it felt right. A week later, Olivia posted a dramatic Instagram story on a black background. Some people leave you when you need them most, but God sees all, and karma is real. I didn't answer, but I did screenshot it for a laugh. A few days after that, Dad called. I watched it ring 5 times and let it go to voicemail. His message: "Your mom's upset. Olivia might sell her car. We're family, call us." I didn't call back. Instead, I emailed Olivia her car lease transfer papers. Subject: "You're welcome." Deadline: 2 weeks. Then something unexpected happened. Kelly, my cousin's wife, sent me a message late one night. I was at Easter when everything blew up. "I just wanted to say thank you. You stood up for yourself. You didn't deserve that. I hope you're okay." Her words surprised me. Someone finally saw what was happening. I replied, "I'm better than okay." Peace didn't last long, though. 2 weeks later I found a handwritten note taped to my door from Mom. "We raised you better than this. You'll always be our son, even if you've forgotten what that means." I folded it up, threw it away, and went out for tacos. They'll never understand. I didn't forget what family means. They never knew. They thought love was control and money bought obedience, but I learned better. Now my apartment is quiet, because I want it that way. I light a candle, play music, and breathe easy. No one's waiting for me to send money. No one's asking favors. For the first time, I'm the main character in my own life. The world didn't end when I said no. There was no lightning or regret, just silence and freedom. I wake up without that weight in my chest. No bank app panic. No group chats where my messages vanish. No more holiday guilt. I started sleeping better, cooking real meals, and even bought a second-hand guitar to teach myself. I reconnected with old friends and took a photography class, things I'd always wanted to do but never had time for. Weeks later, I ran into Rachel, a college friend, at a bookstore. Over coffee, she asked, "Are you still close with your family?" I paused and said, "No, I cut them off." She smiled and said, "Good." We talked for hours about boundaries and healing. I realized I wasn't broken, I was rebuilding. Months passed. My phone no longer makes me jump. I stopped tracking their emergencies. I stopped waiting for the next insult. One day I actually laughed at a meme. It hit me. I'm happy, not because something big happened, but because nothing was draining me anymore. Then I got one more voicemail from Mom. Voice shaky. "Hi sweetheart. I hope you're okay. Olivia's struggling. The house isn't the same without you. We messed up, but you're still our son. We love you. I miss you." I listened twice. For the first time I didn't cry or feel guilty. I just felt done. And that feeling was warm, like stepping into sunshine after years in the shade. Now I know, saying no isn't cruel, setting boundaries isn't heartless, And walking away from toxic people, even family, is survival, not betrayal. They might call me ungrateful now, let them, they're not in my life, and my life finally belongs to me. If someone ever tells you you're not welcome, say good, I didn't come to be welcome, I came to stop bleeding, then walk out the door and never look back. Because peace isn't given to you, it's something you reclaim when you finally say enough.